Hello and welcome back to Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast. I'm your host, Doomcutie, and I have our team here at COAG. We have Lishi.
Hello.
And Ellie.
Hey, hey.
And today for our season final, we have the Out of This World Galaxy.
Hello.
Thank
you for having me.
It sounds way less lame when I say it live rather than people having to read it. So I promise. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I may or may not have been in your DMs three times asking if you could come on.
I am notorious for missing DMs, so I apologize. we made it.
We made it. And what a great time for you to come on for our last episode of season 1 of the podcast.
Congrats on a whole season. It's exciting.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a fantastic time. Some people are like, season final, we'll still be having content put out there. It just means that we get to take a break over the
December's
time.
Always busy.
And I wanted to give the ladies the opportunity to go away, and if they want to come back they can, or if they don't want to, that's totally fine. And then just give other people an opportunity to be on the panel here. We've been working hard over here, so why not? It's been a great year. This week, what has everyone been up to? Ellie, what have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to this week, really? I had my The Last of Us Part 2 continuation stream on Wednesday night, and we were chatting about what we were chatting about on Saturday on the podcast with the new remaster, and it was definitely continued to still be spicy. A lot of people share the same kind of vibe of just make it a DLC. But it was a bit of a spicy stream, because I couldn't get my audio to work for the game. So I was playing on mute, but my stream could hear. And so it was absolutely hectic. And I ended up having to end the game after I met up with the dogs. I'm not sure if you're familiar. You're not familiar, Doomcutie, because you're not a horror gamer, as we've discussed. But there's a part where all the different dogs come for you, and I was bargaining with my life for me to not have to kill these pixelated dogs. But I just couldn't hear anything, so we had to stop it. But yeah, it's been fun. Pixelated dogs has been the bane of my existence.
Look, it's not a stream unless there's tech issues. So
exactly, and it makes it fun. Challenging but fun.
Lishi, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, way too much. I am hitting the level of exhaustion on another level this week. But I haven't actually had any time to really play games other than a couple of hours on TikTok, because I am now streaming to TikTok, which is a lot of fun. I've just started that. But just a lot of work stuff. I'm making some guest appearances on some outlets and had a couple of business meetings. So it's just been a very full-on week for me.
You're about to go full-time content creator, aren't you?
I am. 1st of January. I'm very, very excited, especially after working Black Friday yesterday. I cannot wait to get out of the daytime job and just get into full-time content.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
That's exciting.
It's really, really exciting. You've worked really hard to get to this point. So
it's been many years. Let's go 2024. I'm very excited.
Sorry, I feel like I need to make this comment about Black Friday and the amount of work that retail workers have to do. They're open additional hours, and they're not paid like they would normally be paid if they worked like Boxing Day or anything like that. Usually that's like a monetary like benefit of working those long hours and working with, you know, really high intense, you know, work, retail situations. So
it's
my
it's bad.
my heart goes out to retail workers who had to work through 7 days across the whole week of these sales. It's just nuts. Like the kind of sales that we have in Australia for Black Friday, even though like we don't celebrate really Thanksgiving, and the fact that it goes for a whole week, like it's unheard of in places where they do celebrate it. So shout out to the retail workers out there, definitely.
Absolutely.
Tough time.
Galaxy, what have you been playing? What have you been getting up to?
This week's been a busy week. I've been playing some Super Mario RPG, which I like, surprisingly.
Yay.
Okay.
I'm not a Mario fan. I'm not really that big of a Nintendo fan. But I do like RPGs. So I was like, look, I'm going to try it. And I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I haven't had this much fun since Baldur's Gate 3 came out. So so that's good. It's a fun game. It's kind of like, I wouldn't really call it very RPG heavy at all, but it's just turn-based combat. But it's fun. It's simple. It's lighthearted. It's good fun. So I've been doing that. What else did I do? A few Xbox things this week as well. So had to head up to Sydney to the Microsoft office for that. And then we, Opti, my co-host, and I did our first stream ever together on Wednesday. We've never played a game together. We weren't even friends. We weren't even friends on Xbox. So yeah, that was
the first time for everything.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I've just had a lot of fun playing some video games this week, which is good.
Oh, that's great. I think sometimes, you know, when you are working in this space, sometimes, you know, you are a gamer, but sometimes you don't get as much time as you'd like to actually sit down and play games.
Oh yeah, I don't play games off stream anymore. So
yeah,
can be tricky.
Yeah, definitely. But you've had an incredible year, Galaxy. And it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you and your content creation journey this year. And you and Opti doing your best out there for Xbox. Love to see it. I'm a big Xbox fan, so
I can tell.
I always try and wear something that's like, you know, cool and related, you know.
It's on brand. It's on brand.
It's on brand. But I mean, like, how have you been feeling? Like, tell us more. Tell us more. I mean, not that I would have a feeling that most of the people that watch us or follow us know you, but you know.
Maybe I don't know. I'm really shy, so I probably don't come across as a shy person, but I'm very shy. Okay. Wait. What am I? I'm talking about my year. Is that what I'm doing? That's what I'm doing. Okay. It's been a hectic year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I just celebrated. So October was the 12 months working with Xbox ANZ, which is crazy because thank you. Because so like I had to audition for the role last year, and I literally made my audition tape in 10 minutes before I had to jump on a plane to fly to Melbourne for PAX. And then I wasn't going to apply, and so I don't know, I still kind of feel a little bit I don't want to say impostery, but a little bit like pinch me, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, like that's been really fun. I got to meet Opti, which was fantastic, and the Xbox ANZ team, which are lovely. So all of that's been really good. This was my first year full-time content creator as well. So Lishi, you're going to love it.
I cannot wait. It's been
Well,
such a long time in the making. So
yeah.
I'm following your
Exactly.
footsteps.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. It's good. Like,
Exactly.
it's stressful. It's a lot more stressful than I thought it would be, mainly because well, I guess another big thing was this year I finally got my ADHD diagnosis, which I'm still untreated, which sucks, because medication and all of that is so complex, but having an answer for things has been really helpful. However, trying to focus on what I want to do and what I want to achieve has been a little bit tricky. So I'm still kind of finding my feet there. So I've done a lot of, I don't know, I'm really bad with routine. So I've been trying to do routine. So I feel like that's probably what I'm most proud of. I've, spent 12 months with Xbox doing all of that. And around that, I'm starting fitness routines, I'm starting stream schedules, and now I've started making video content. So it's all like a step-by-step process, which, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still just a shy little, like, I'm not important. I'm no one. I just play video games. So
Well, that's a lie. You are very important in this space, and we all love you to pieces. So
no, don't make me cry.
It's the truth, though. I think like imposter syndrome is so real, no matter who you are. It's such a natural feeling. But when you remember that you have people backing you and people that show up to every live thing you do or watch any piece of content, it's very heartwarming. So you should be proud of yourself because you are a somebody.
Yeah.
And not just like a
Thank
somebody in this
you.
space. You are a person. You are someone who is important.
Everybody is someone who's important.
You're the main character,
That's a good way to
of
put
your
it.
life.
You guys
You're
are
not.
cuties.
You're
gonna make me blush.
No, and honestly, like bringing people like yourself into the COAG family is so amazing, and for you to, come on and like we're the ones who are feeling your feelings, you know what I mean? Like we're just so happy that you're here, and we're happy for your success, and we're excited for the things that you're doing, and
No, I'm happy for the
that's what
things that
we're
you are
about.
doing. That's why I'm here.
Stop. This is like the worst Uno reverse situation going on right now. Like Ellie's very quiet. She's just
I'm
like,
just in
"Please
awe.
don't."
I'm just basking in the glory. I love it. I'm like, well, shock horrid silence for once. Let me just sip on my tea and live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. I do have a question. Galaxy, what
For me?
made you
Okay.
what made you start this journey to working in games and eventually moving to full-time content creation?
That's so tricky, right? Like, I've spent 10 years at university. I have 3 degrees. I was an archaeological scientist, so completely different. I looked at dead bodies for a living and loved it. I love it, as creepy as that sounds.
I love dead bodies.
Yes.
Quoted Galaxy. No, we like spooky girls. It's all right.
But I don't know. I think one of the things that I always think about when I'm asked this question, like, why games now? Because, like, I'm 31. So,
I'm 32.
Cool. Same age. We're the same age.
Yeah.
And we're jumping into things like that. Making a slight pivot. But for me, when I started university, I was one of those. This is going to sound like I'm trying to toot my own horn, and I really don't mean to, but I was one of those kids that started uni at 17.
Yeah, so was I. Yeah.
There you go.
Wait,
yeah.
Are you a May? Are you like?
I'm a June.
What?
June baby.
June. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Us first half of the years. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have like weird kind of timings and everything. I didn't get to like go out with friends or anything like that. But aside from that, I had no idea that girls could be involved in video games.
Right?
And as I realize now that sounds so stupid, because there are some brilliant ladies that have been pioneers in the video gaming industry since the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea. My mum certainly wasn't somebody that really understood gaming, really appreciated it. She just thought I was wasting my time. She doesn't now. I played God of War, the reboot, in 2018, and she made me play that game in 3 days, like straight. That was supposed to be a month game for me, by the way. I was still at uni, so I had no money. And now she's like, oh yeah, video games seem cool. So thank you, God of War.
That eye candy, Kratos. She's got, you know, like.
But like, I had no idea that I could go to uni and like learn how to make games or be involved in something like that. Like, if I could do my time again, I probably would have done computer science, so I could do some coding. I'm big on maths and science. But so my next best thing was, I love history, so I went to uni and I did the most sciencey form of history that I could, which was archaeology.
Yeah.
So how did I get here now is more just like, so I live in Canberra. I'm not from Canberra. So I don't have like my family or friendship circle here or anything. So when I finished my master's degree, so I moved here to go to the ANU. When I finished my master's degree, I was sitting around doing nothing. I'd just written a 20,000 word book on something everybody else would find really boring. But I had nothing to do. And I was sitting around playing video games, and my partner was like, hey, how about you start streaming? Because you can at least then have a conversation with someone while you're home. Because I didn't have a job at that point either. So I did. And I didn't really take it seriously. So I've been streaming now for 4 years. I didn't really take it seriously until mid last year-ish. And then, yeah, I don't know. Things just kind of like snowballed. I just like video games. I like talking about video games. I like playing video games. I like being able to like host things about video games, you know? Like, it's just a space that I never really thought that we could be in. And I can go back and study coding now. I don't have the energy to go back to uni. So this is my next best thing. If I could be in the space.
Quite new. It is quite new with mixing video games with media. Like, I understand that video games obviously are a form of media, but mixing video games with kind of like content creation, connecting to an audience, like, I would argue that that's quite relatively new. And so when things are new, I would say that women are kind of in the back seat of things, because a lot of the time it's men pioneering these new things. And so I am the same as you. Growing up, a lot of the times it was like, oh, video games are like a dude thing, and like, you know, then I got older, I'm like, oh, streaming is like more of a guy thing, sort of thing. And so growing up and then now seeing more women come forward, and not just come forward, but also like dominate the industry, it's absolutely awesome that it doesn't matter if you've got 2 followers or if you've got 2,000 followers. There is the presence of women that are absolutely involving themselves in the community and within video games and within development of video games. And so the whole thing, and you are right in saying that things just snowball. And so you start dabbling in something, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, shoot, I want to do this as a full-time job. Yeah. And it just kind of happens. So it has been awesome kind of watching your growth from that perspective, because it just kind of, all of a sudden you just feel like, oh, okay, well, this is possible for me now. And last week I just didn't think it was going to be a thing.
Yeah. And that's why like I said before, I'm still kind of like finding my feet, you know, like trying to figure out how everything works, in how I can get things done, with how my brain works, how my life works, all of that. But seeing like some of my favorite streamers out there are women, making it like a wholesome, comfy place. I think it's really fantastic. So I'm excited to see how the space keeps going. I would love to say that I'm going to be here for many, many years, but like realistically, we have no idea. But for now, instead of going to go do my PhD, I'm going to play some video games.
Heck yeah.
I'll do that later.
Then you can change your streamer name to Dr. Galaxy.
That's true. Do you know my
doctor is in.
my Twitch name used to be Archeo Galaxy.
Oh,
that's how it started. And people were like, "Hey, it's Archeo." I was like, "No,
I don't like we've had some really interesting comments in chat, and I just because obviously we've touched on a few topics of women and women's place in the world and the misogyny that's kind of existed within this space as we were growing up. And I think Dolphin Pans has said because the history books were written by men. Yeah.
And as a historian and archaeologist, I can tell you it's been exactly that.
Can confirm.
Ever. So whenever you read something, you're like, oh, it was always this way. Mate, even pregnancy guides were written by men. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Babe, I'm right there with you. Last week we had Fiamma on and we were talking about medicine and like treatments and things like that. There's a massive data gap on how medications actually affect women. And it's just nuts. It's just so crazy. And I know you mentioned you finally got your ADHD diagnosis this year. I got diagnosed this year having no idea that I even had it. Because it often happens to quite high achieving women. I too I have 2 degrees as well. I have a medical science degree and I have an education degree. Like, and here we are in our 30s
doing something
like,
completely different. Because it's a new hyper-focus.
Well, I'm still working in education because that's what I do on the side. But anyway, circling back, I just learned, okay, so ADHD medication doesn't work over like the week before your period. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Because all the data for ADHD medication was done on men. So it's actually crazy.
Well, it's also one of those things, like, I don't know if anyone's seen on, I don't know, like news shows or newspapers, all of traditional crappy media, where they're like, oh, ADHD just happens to be the popular diagnosis at the moment. How come it's doubled? And it's like, maybe because we finally accepted that females who make up half of the population can also have ADHD, because before then you didn't think we had it. You thought we were just a bit lazy. And all of like, I had to take in my school reports.
Just a bit kooky.
Yeah. I had to take in also my primary school reports to prove it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it also wasn't looked at what it is today. Like when I was growing up as a kid, I knew of ADHD as the hyperactive boys in the classroom. That is it. Yeah. And that's just the stigma that it was. So there's a whole generation or a couple of generations that have not been diagnosed and have missed out on the opportunity for that because it didn't exist.
Yeah. Exactly. There was another comment. Oh, where's it gone now? Men are otherwise afforded the opportunity to be the pioneers and otherwise centered in receiving the credit. I think, and I read somewhere that like part of the gender pay gap exists because men are more likely to apply for promotions than women, or they're better at like selling themselves. They're better at putting themselves out there.
But that's just generational and inbuilt misogyny, because we do it to ourselves. We don't boast about what we do because we've been taught not to.
Yeah, like literally, or
we've been taught not to lie and not to speak and not to be proud, and so that comes into how you apply for jobs as well. We would never.
I have so much guilt in regards to that. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm so proud of myself internally, but every time I express it, I feel guilt. Does anyone else feel that way? Because it's just like a natural feeling because you feel like you are not allowed to celebrate these wins.
Yeah.
Ellie's like,
No,
no,
of
I've
course
never felt
not.
guilty. I've never felt guilty, but I see other people.
Can't relate. No, I'm just kidding. No, I totally understand that, because do you know what it's slapped as? The title that people love to use, cringe. Everything is fucking cringe. Everything is cringe. And that, to me, I think, like, is almost like a thing like, oh, you know what women hate the most is when their reputation is destroyed, and what I can do with that is cringe. And it's so mean, but also when you're like me, you know, you embrace the embarrassment. You know, I'm always embarrassing myself. I embrace it. And so when someone says cringe, it audibly, like, makes me laugh. If they leave, like, cringe on my reels, I'm like, yes, girl, go off. Like, go
I
off in the
know.
comments, sir. And I
Thanks
think
for feeding the algorithm for me.
that's what it stems from. It's like, yeah, you do feel guilty about celebrating your wins because no, hush, hush, little girl. Like, you have to be quiet. Like, you can't celebrate that.
Women
And if
should
you
be seen, not
celebrate that,
heard. Yeah.
that's it. Then, you know, oh no, that's cringe though. And then, you know, it's just always met by weird things. And once you just, like, put these people aside, it's like, well, why are you cringe, Benjamin? Why are you coming in my comments and saying that? It's like,
Where's your mother?
Exactly.
Who let this man out unattended?
Why are you not supervised? So yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Leishy, because obviously you've had a lot of announcements at the end of this year, and and when it's like we were discussing before, snowballing, and it's one announcement after the other, and if they're not spaced out, it's like, oh gosh, am I, like, bragging? It's like, good,
Overdoing it, yeah.
brag. Like, who cares? Like, you've worked for it. Like, brag. You know, brag like a nepo baby. Who cares? Like, sit down, Benjamin. It's girl time now.
Every Benjamin out there is just freaking out right now.
Oh my god, that's my secret. No, I had this exact thing because obviously, you know, going way back, rewinding to the, you know, the first episode, the first moments of Confessions of a Gamer Girl, you know, I had Alana Pierce reach out to me. I didn't get that. That was delivered to me, and honestly, like, because I was in, like, Xbox parties and stuff like that, you know, just chatting, you know, playing games and stuff. But, like, I got told that I was people didn't like my self-promotion. They thought it was me self-promoting. And I got really negative feedback about me telling them, oh, you know, I'm really excited. I finally got our artwork done, or Alana Pierce is coming on, or I'm really excited about my co-hosts. You should go, this is their links and stuff like that. You should go and follow them. It's really cool. That's just me sharing and being excited.
But why wouldn't you be able to, I mean, as excitement aside, why can't you promote something new? Like, you're starting a new podcast.
I'll tell you why.
Why wouldn't you promote it? Because you're a woman.
Well, but also the space that all the circles kind of thing, a couple of them had made podcasts and they just all get their friends on. And I'm, like, the only chick. So, and I have a chick podcast. So you're not invited, Benjamin. You're not invited on the podcast. I can't invite you. I wanted it to be powered by women in gaming. And
I'm never going to meet a Benjamin and feel the same now.
Sorry, Benjamin.
No, but he has to be Benjamin. Like, he can't. He doesn't
can't be
like
a Ben.
being
It has to be a Benjamin.
Yeah.
It's because we've got pink going on as well. Like, you can't have pink. Like, oh gosh, you're having pink in your branding. Oh no.
You know, look. Lots of men look great in pink, okay?
They do.
I agree. It's their undertones. They look fantastic in pink, and they love to call it salmon. So it's like, oh, it's salmon. It's not pink. Okay, it's pink, Benjamin. And we love it. You look great. You look fantastic.
It's peach.
I wanted... My days. Look, it's getting a bit toxic in here. I don't know what to do. Chat. No, it's the thing is, I don't even know if it was the pink. Like, I kind of wanted to go into I really wanted to lean into the typical, you know, like, e-girl, gamer girl, like, and, you know, like, clouds and, you know, all that stuff. It's pretty it's pretty a common theme. And I thought it fit like I could fit it like anywhere. So I was like,
but guess what?
okay.
You don't need to justify anything. If you like pink and clouds, you like pink and clouds. Make it pink and clouds.
Yes, that's
That's
true.
right.
That is true.
Easy.
Because I'm and you know what? I'm contributing to the female gaming like history, like women in gaming history. Like I'm adding to it in Australia, and I can make it look however I want, and that's okay. That's allowed. but at the same, and I think I'm learning. I'm really learning, and I think it's when you turn 30 and you're like, your prefrontal cortex and all that matures, and your brain and all that kind of stuff. I'm now more unapologetically myself than ever. Like, we all have like internal, and especially spicy gals like ADHDers. There's a lot of overthinking, and I just thought I was really like smart. I thought it was anxiety. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just busy brain. But like I'd add that to it, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, I kind of. I'm still working through these things. Anyway, thank you for listening to my TED talk. Anyway, it's what people are here for, right? But Galaxy, you have so much to be proud of. You're clearly an intelligent woman, and you know what? If people can't get around your achievements, same with you, Alicia, same with you, Ellie, same with you, Doomcutie, then they're not the people that you want around anyway, really.
That's true. 100%.
It is true. I think social media just makes things hard. Like you have people that are there for you all the time, but social media is a weird
beast.
It's a weird bubble. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
But then there's like bubbles inside the bubbles, and you're like, why is there bubbles?
I ordered table water, not sparkling.
Yeah, and it takes courage. It takes courage to get out there, create content, talk about things you love, and if you are like yourself, and you stick true to your values and what you love, and don't pretend to like things that you don't. You're going to attract the right people around you. So yeah, and Ellie, you're just in the very beginning of your streaming journey in this crowd anyway. So
I'd agree with that.
I feel very protective of Ellie. Like I'm just like, don't hurt her. Don't say mean things to Ellie. I love you.
Mummy? Yes. I feel very protected by my besties. Don't you worry. Yeah, I'm definitely at the beginning of all that. I only really started streaming. What year is it? 2023. So May last year, I started streaming because I was asked to do a breast cancer charity stream. And I was like, what's the best way I can do that? Like, I don't really know how to do that. And I was like, oh, why don't I just start up a Twitch? And I ended up doing a 7-hour Fortnite stream for charity where I interviewed a gamer every hour and we'd play matches. I even made like breast cancer cocktails. Like it was really fun. It was really, really fun. And so in the grand scheme of things, the more streamers I meet, just like you, Galaxy, it's like there's so much more time to go. And I think our generation is very instant. We're like, I want things instantly. I want success instantly. I want like Uber Eats instantly. Like we love things instantly. And so hearing people put in the hard work and put in those years is really inspiring, because especially with the era of followers and just any interactions, that sort of thing, it can be quite a roller coaster seeing them fluctuate, like go up and go down, and you're like, is it me? Is it the algorithm? And so in the grand scheme of things, there's a year and a half. It's really not a long time to have a internet career, if you will. So it's very humbling, but also awesome just seeing and observing everything and then meeting everyone as well.
It's one of those things where I guarantee you that most people that are on in the online gaming space, whether that be streaming, whether that be video content, anything like that, you might have only just heard of them, but they've probably been doing it for a lot of years. Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's also crossing over in interests as well. Everyone's obviously always discovering bits and bobs about themselves, and my stream mainly is horror games, and obviously that's not for everyone. But as you get older, some people are like, oh, I've dabbled in, this horror game. I really liked it. Let me see if someone's streaming it. And you come across a whole new streamer, and like you've just said, it's brand new to you, and it's like, oh, I might follow this person, delve more into it. But behind the scenes, they've been working at it for years. Like you say, Lishi, that your online career has been 8 years worth and it's still going and you're still not peaked yet. You're still working at what you want. It's a continuous uphill battle, but in the best way, if that makes sense. It's obviously quite challenging, but it's not an impossible uphill battle, but it's not easy. It's not a slide of any measure.
But if it's something you want to keep doing, you keep working for it. Like 8 years for me is such a long time, but I don't want to give it up yet. So I haven't stopped working. And I don't think there could be a peak per se, but if it's something you want to continue to do, you've got no choice but to keep hustling, right?
Yeah.
It's a marathon. Totally. It's not a sprint. And you know what? Everything that's worthwhile, and whether it be in content creation or just life in general, anything worthwhile does take time. And you want to have the freedom to be able to experiment and create different things, work with different people, and all of that takes time as well. So yeah, Ellie, you mentioned your breast cancer fundraiser. And I just wanted to update everyone on our breast cancer fundraiser. We have raised $430 for breast cancer research. So
That's
excited.
So
very good.
And guess what? That means that we get a Confessions of a Gamer Girl live stream of a game. And I'm pretty sure Ellie might disown me if we don't play Fortnite.
Mildly.
So we will be working on a time that suits everyone. As everyone knows, we're very busy gals. So be on the lookout for that announcement coming.
Can I say naughty words? Because if I cannot, I must mute myself for majority of the game.
I have been thinking about it, right? I'm like, I don't like, we're not monetized, so maybe.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I can zip my lip. I'll get Epic involved, and then I'll warn them about my.
Okay. You just talk to Epic. I'm sure they'll allow it. It's fine.
I'll just call them up.
I feel like there's a certain amount of leniency for being Australian.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Because swearing doesn't mean anything really here.
No.
Like
no.
Mate,
it's just
means
rubbish.
Something bad, and the C word is fantastic. So, it's a different culture, and I feel like a lot of people do understand that at the very least, because there's swearing, and then there's Australian.
It's another level.
That's an interesting concept. Yeah, I guess I haven't really thought about it that way, but I'm not sure the TOS thinks about it that way. So yeah, terms of service.
True.
They don't incorporate different cultures, and quite frankly, I find never mind. I'm offended. Ruining my culture, whatever that is. Anyway, I look out for that. It'll be very exciting. Speaking of exciting things, it is the end of our first season, and we're coming up to the end of 2023, moving into 2024. And I kind of wanted to go around and ask people what their favorite achievement of themselves. And I know, again, this is doing the embarrassing thing, and everyone, but I don't care. You're going to say what you're proud of for 2023, okay? And what you would like to achieve in 2024. Galaxy, you're going to go first.
Oh wow. Okay. What am I proud of?
Yeah.
I feel like I am proud. Like if we're just talking career wise, I'm really proud of being able to jump into a more public space with gaming. So like doing some hosting at DreamHack, PAX, and like Xbox and things like that. That's what I have found that I really enjoy. Which is weird because I get nervous as heck, but public speaking apparently I really like. So that probably, yeah, I would say that I am proud of giving things like that a go when normally my anxiety and my self-doubt would have been like, just don't do it. Just, yeah, turn that down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, yeah, that's what I'm proud of.
Proud of
It's
you.
growth.
It is growth. Ellie, what are you most proud of for 2023?
2023, yeah, goodness, there was a lot happening, you know, in my personal life as well as my career wise, but I would definitely say I've been most proud of connecting, just the connection that I've received, coming more into the gaming community. I've been in the media community for quite some time, but I've never really shuffled over to more purely gaming. So now that I have with obviously Instagram and Coag, just connecting with like-minded people has been fantastic, especially phenomenal women. And it can be hard in today's age as being like an adult. It can be so hard to make friends because, you know, you can't just go up to someone and be like, I like your drink bottle, and they'd say, I like your dress, and then you're best friends. Like, it doesn't really happen as often.
You could try.
I do that all the time. What do you mean? They might not be my best friend. But...
and so putting myself out there to join these sorts of communities has been fun. And then I've also stretched my creative legs by creating some more content and vision to pop on Instagram. So I'd say probably my putting my foot forward to connect with people and then also be creative this year. That's what I've been most proud of within myself.
And Ellie, you made a baby.
Yeah.
And you birthed a baby.
Yeah, he's probably my best craft project to date. It took a while to make, but I look at him, I'm like, you're a pretty cool craft project. So that was pretty fun as well. Yeah.
I you know what, I do want to take this time to just Ellie, you are so inspiring, having such a little one and being like, hell yeah, I'll be on your gaming podcast, let's go.
Yeah, he was 9 days old when I applied. I think he was like 9 days old when I was like, yeah, I'll be on a podcast every Saturday. I can breastfeed under the clouds. It's okay. Yeah. It's not a problem.
That's what the clouds are there for.
That's why I'm down here. I just kind of if you see a tiny hand pop up, it's none of your business. Don't worry about it.
It's not. But outside of that, like I've been in the trenches of the newborn, the little person, this thing that I have to keep alive all the time and needs me all the time. And
wait, you're a mum too?
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old.
There you go.
But you know what? I just lost myself. Hey, like I was just like deep down depression, didn't sleep. Like I was just awful. Let alone, sorry.
Please don't die now.
I know, right? Let alone having time for things that I love, and I really lost myself. But Ellie, and you haven't, and if you're feeling like you're losing yourself, let me know, girl, and we'll just well, come on, you're great, you're fantastic, and it's
thank you.
So good.
I connected with a lot of other women who had children, even a few months before me or several years before me. And a lot of women did speak about the fact that, it's really hard to keep up with who you are to the core because we all have things that kind of we like to label ourselves as who we are to the core. And when you give birth, not only are you physically healing, but your mind is opening up to being an extension of somebody else. And so it's a whole spiritual thing. It really is. And so when he was getting a bit bigger, I really just said to myself, I need to make sure I cling on to this thing, because my peers, like the women that I've connected with, have already foretold me like this can happen. And so I sort of made it work, even if it literally was 3 minutes. If I had to come up with the content in my head while he was napping, and I had the 3-minute window where he didn't mind being by himself on his playmat, I would create what I could create in those 3 minutes, and then chop and change and do what I can. And the journey of accepting myself, because I studied film and television, and I have been in media for several years now, and so I'm used to big productions. I'm used to having, weeks, if not months, working on a project, grand editing systems. That's who I am, and that's what I'm used to. And so just having a phone and having 3 seconds to myself to cut something up is quite trippy. And I think the learning curve of accepting new life has been a challenge, but the end of it was quite beautiful for me, in the way of like, I can give up perfectionism and still be happy with what I've churned out, and I can still be so surrounded by women that support me. And that in itself is like, to me, it's like, if I visualize it, it's almost like a blossoming flower of like, I thought I was a yellow flower, but I'm green. It's completely different, and it's been fun and trippy and wild. So it's lovely that it also has been noticed by other people, because you get so trapped in your own world that you forget that there's people observing you and cheering for you. So your words mean a lot.
Thank you for sharing, Ellie. That was beautiful.
I've just met you and I'm proud of you. Sorry, I had to get my
that's totally
my
fine.
charging cable, but I'm proud of you. I think you're doing fantastic.
Thank you. That's lovely. Making me blush now.
Good.
Returning the favor.
Oh, Ishi, you have worked your little butt off this year, and so it's that's why I went to you kind of last, because you have to pick of all these wonderful things you've been doing this year. But what would you say was the absolute highlight for you?
Well, I didn't make a child, so for me that was a highlight. Kids are not on my cards anytime soon.
Same.
But yeah, no, I have had a year of ups and downs, and the ups have been so amazing and the downs have been pretty hard. But I think my biggest achievement is seeing myself on ecom and on a website or websites. Doing a photo shoot with JBL was at the start of the year, honestly, one of the best things to ever happen to me. Oh, yeah. I'm so happy that I got given that opportunity, and to be called the face of JBL Quantum in Australia is words I never thought I would hear. That is just mental, and to be rewarded with that opportunity for all my hard work really means a lot, but it allowed me to come out of my shell in a way that I never thought I would. Getting in front of a camera like that on a professional scale and working the camera, posing, like pretty much being a model. I've never seen myself as a model, and I never will see myself as a model. So to me, that just like raised my confidence to another level that I just
you absolutely killed that shoot, by the way. I remember when you posted those. Totally. I was like, oh my God.
I cannot explain how good I felt seeing myself like that, especially when I do have a lot of issues with my health that present physically. And that's what the downside of the year has been. So yeah, that was definitely the biggest highlight. But other things as well is I got to MC on stage, and I never thought I'd be able to do that at PAX. With my speech issues and my fear of screwing up my words every time I talk on camera, to see what I did blew my mind, and I want to do more of that. I've just stepped into this space to do that. Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And I know like that was something I really wanted to achieve this year. So to be able to do that just means the world to me. And lastly, like this space that I am currently in, I built my own studio. I'm kicking off the new year in a creative space where I can really shine and dedicate a lot of time and just feel comfortable, because I've never really felt that I could be consistent with what I do due to just so many moving factors. So I'm really looking forward to the stability that comes along with this. And I just know that this year has really been the most pivotal point in my online career. And my partner likes to call it the turning ship. You know, you want to literally rotate the boat to go back onto the winning streak. And it's rocky. It does rock from side to side. You can go overboard or you can flood, but it's about how you keep that stable. And through all the busy periods I've been through and battling everything else, like I've also lost great grandparents this year, which was really hard. And there was a lot going on. To get to the end and see how well I am and what I've set up for myself is just incredible. I'm just very proud of myself. And again, this is where the guilt comes in, right? Like, how dare I say
Yeah.
how proud I am? But I
Please be
know
proud
I
of
have done
yourself.
so
Yeah.
much. Yeah, I really am. I look back and I just think, wow, I have done a lot. And I'm very excited for what I can do next year.
We're excited.
No,
Yeah,
thank
totally.
you.
for sure.
It's yeah. I just feel like a rebirth of Lishi is going to happen or is currently happening. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I can bring to the table.
Excellent. Well, we're
Thank you.
we're so proud.
I
Definitely.
really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And now I get to ask myself the question, which is always the fun thing about being the host. You know, again, I've said this before or something similar, but I was at the beginning of this year, I was not in a very good place mentally, or it just even I wasn't really happy with the space that I was in the gaming community, I suppose. And yeah, I was working really hard in that space, and I just wasn't seeing anything come to fruition that I was proud of. And then, um, you know, moving into deciding to creating Coag, which didn't have that nickname before, but now it does. Confessions of a Gamer Girl, creating that, getting to meet so many incredible women. I'm talking to them now. I've been talking to them almost every day. The amount I've really surprised myself with the amount of, and Galaxy, when you mentioned learning to be more organized and things like that, I've really surprised myself with my abilities to do that. And it's my first time creating my own podcast. There have been some rocky parts, but overall I'm really happy with and really proud of when I look back at all the episodes we've had and the content that we've put out. I'm really, really proud of it.
You
That's
should
good.
be.
Yeah, should
You've
be.
worked so hard to create this amazing thing that gives a platform for so many women to speak. And like, we thank you so much. Really.
Yeah, I feel the exact same. I'll say not only have I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Coag connecting with all the women, but I thoroughly enjoy connecting with you. And I think that I would even go as far as to call us friends now, which is lovely. I think that you're a very hardworking woman that should be celebrated, and you've put your heart and soul into something that
Keep going.
is,
She's gonna cry.
I know.
Now it's my turn to cry.
I think that
Make
you've
her
worked
cry.
hard on
Make her cry.
something, and you've set your sights on something, and you know what, that you've done so well with it. And I'm glad that you're proud, because I want you to feel proud, because obviously everyone that you've come into contact with every corner of Coag is so proud, and you've created a community that otherwise wouldn't have existed. And so you're a powerhouse with your own personal life, working with this as well. Like, I'm stoked for you, and I'm very, very glad that you feel proud of yourself, because girlfriend, you deserve it. Bam.
Amen.
Thank you. There was nothing worse than trying to put a square peg through a round hole. Like, You know what I mean? And I was trying to fit myself in spaces within gaming content creation that just didn't feel right. Like I've never felt right, just calling myself a streamer. I don't have enough personal time to be a full-time, journo, and I'd have to go back and get trained, but I'm learning along the way, and I'm really grateful that I've been able to work with a lot of writing teams and get some more skills and things like that. But yeah, and I thought my world was crashing down around me, in my personal life with my own career. I burnt out in my teaching career, and I had to take time off, and I thought it was the end for me. And I don't know what happened. I think I mentioned on the first episode with Alana, because I don't have any parents and I don't have any like siblings or people around me that are actually cheering for me like that. I had to look at a picture of myself and say, like as a little girl, and just say, what would I want her to feel? What would I say to her if she was hurting? And yeah, so I sucked it up. I took the time away from work. I worked on myself. I worked on my mental health. I was like, I don't have any gaming girlfriends, and I'm sick of it. So
bloody hell, built an empire.
So, and now I'm like, yes, you will. Yes, you will join the Confessions of a Gamer Girl family, and you will love it. You will be in the pink clouds with me, and we'll talk about all the silly little games that we love to play. All right? And here we are. So, it's I'm super proud of it, and for 2024, I want to continue it, and I can't wait to see how it evolves next year as well.
It's absolutely only bigger and better from here on out.
And I can't wait to see how everyone evolves in 2024, because I think that is actually a really beautiful thing that women do so well. We are
I hope so. I hope so.
We're flowers.
We really, really do. Women do that better than anyone, really. So, I love cheering. I love cheering for other women, and I don't be embarrassed of cheering for yourselves. Don't be embarrassed for cheering for others. Don't be afraid of being cringe, because it's not. It's this kind of cheerleading, this hype for each other. It needs to be deep and meaningful, and we need to cheer each other on and make it like each other feel comfortable to celebrate ourselves, because the more we do that, our potential goes up, because that's the secret sauce, girls. That's what it is. It's each other, and reaching out to one another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you okay, Galaxy?
Yeah. I was just thinking, I was like, because you were talking about like burnout and things like that.
Yeah.
And like, that's what this year has been for me as well. Yeah. So, it's all exciting that this was my first year full-time content creating, but in a sense, because of a lot of other things that was going on, it was really my first year not working on another job, and fitting in content creation in and amongst being incredibly burnt out, having no success with ADHD treatment, losing family members, things like that. So for me, my whole year has kind of like, even though there are things that I'm proud of, I'm still like, I hope that in 2024, like I can kick that, like self-doubt, all of that out, because like I've never been able to be consistent with all of the things that I want to be either.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, for me, trying to get consistent in things is really difficult, and I'm trying to work on that. And so I'm like really hopeful. Yeah. I mean, it's good to know that that more people do experience the same kind of thing, right? Because you feel alone, because what you present to social media is completely different.
Yeah, but it's a tip of the iceberg, and it's curated. We all want to look our best. It's not that we're trying to lie to everyone, but you know what? You're damn right. I take my selfies in the good light. you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like,
I'm not going to take a selfie while I got a pimple on my nose and I haven't done makeup, and I'm like, yeah.
It's got nothing to do with trying to be fake or anything like that. It's just, you know, wanting to put yourself, you know, in the best light. But unfortunately, that comes with the price of people think you're put together all the time, and then you get this like internalized pressure to be
Totally.
perfect. And
no one's perfect.
No, I know. You guys, if you're listening, I'm sorry. The real confession is no one's perfect. And okay, I don't.
Sometimes I don't fold my laundry. Don't tell social media.
That's you have a what is it? Your wardrobe is a basket. It's fine.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Or the end of the bed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have clean clothes. No, I'm trying to get to a point. My point is, I'm trying to see that, you know, that burnout or whatever. Like Australia has a lot of natural flora that thrives after bushfires. It's how the seeds germinate. It's how and phoenixes rising. You know, we just had to burn down to reveal my final form.
The glory.
So yeah, if anyone out there is watching or listening and you're like, damn,
we're Transformers now. Heard it here first.
Yeah. That's the real secret. All women are Transformers.
I mean, literally. I wish.
No, but no, literally, when you have a baby, the hips go like this and they go like this. Crazy.
Optimus Prime could never.
Galaxy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We've reached an hour, and that is great. That's usually the time we go for. But I don't want to go because
I mean, chatting's easy, isn't it? It's fun.
Yeah.
It's easy when you can talk to people that are in the same space, feeling the same kind of things that probably you wouldn't expect to be feeling the same kind of things as well. So,
well, the more women I talk to in this space, the more I realize we actually all are feeling this way. We just don't tell one another, and I don't know why.
Secrets.
I know.
So many secrets. That's why her hair is so big.
All right, chat. All right, girls. Let's get out of here.
Thank you for having me.
You are so very welcome. I'm
excited to see where you go next year.
Yes. This isn't the end. Starting off next week, COAG will be launching the COAG Conversations, summer series of content, talking to game developers, gaming mums, and some of your favorite streamers. I've had the privilege to even chat to VTubers, so get excited for that.
That's exciting.
I'm usually like really okay with ending the podcast, just not today. Thank you so much to our chat. Thank you so much to all of our listeners on the internet. Final thank you to my glorious co-hosts. You're smashing it.
No, thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Doomcutie.
Thank you.
Had a ball.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you for the next season of Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast. Thank you for watching. So